All right, so today, AppSheet, new tool, part of Google Suite. There's so much, and I'm just going to kind of walk through this. The reason I'm using this is for a client project, and it's just kind of perfect for me. Coming at a perfect time. I've got to talk. Big shout out to Mercer. I've got to talk with Measure Summit this year. So if you don't know, Measure Summit's a place, a big conference where all the who's who in the measurement um, slash analytics dev type of community, people who do the type of work I do at Blue Highlighted Text, basically. So some of the um, most notable folks are going to be there. So now my job is to make sure that I have a speech ready and also do something different. For me, it's important that I have something extra to bring to the table, something different. And so this is part of me preparing that. I don't really like focusing on what I've done in the past or things that I've perfected, things of that nature. So this is kind of an opportunity for me to quickly learn and utilize AppSheet in order to create an automation really that connects to Google Tag Manager API, maybe Google Analytics 4 API, and do some things between that, Make, and Google Sheets. So we'll see. I kind of know the puzzle pieces that I'm going to start with, and I approach a lot of projects that way. Now my job is to put them together.
I'm going to share how Google Cloud AppSheet can help empower citizen developers to build their own no-code applications. Start.
I don't know why it won't connect to my headphones. Let's see what's going on here. There it goes. Watched this yesterday, I think. I got so far to go, man. Oh my gosh. Fix this here.
For now, we're going to quick walkthrough that showcases how Google AI and ML help you get started with AppSheet in just a few clicks. Let's get started. First, we're going to authorize your data source. On the AppSheet homepage, click the Start for Free button. You'll be taken to a screen that states Start with your data. Select your cloud-based data source. In this case, we'll be using our Google Drive, and authorize your account to work with AppSheet. Your data will not be moved. It will remain with your preferred data source. Once you've authorized your data source, you will be taken to your account page. For a quick start, click Make a New App and select Start with your own data. Next, provide a name for your application and select the type of application you want to build. For this app, let's build a field service inspection application. Click Select Data and select from the list of authorized data sources. Select the appropriate file for your application and then let Google's machine learning analyze your data and make smart suggestions based on the type of data in your source. In this survey app, AppSheet made recommendations for views of maps, an image gallery, and forms based on your data. From here, you can customize how your application looks and behaves, add automation, and
All right, I watched this yesterday. Let's keep going. I'm gonna
Your
go
app
through these.
from the
This is quite a bit.
expressions are what separates your app from the out-of-box solutions to the custom-built apps perfect for your business. Yet I hear all the time how intimidating writing expressions can be, but it doesn't have to be like that. In my 6 years of training AppSheet developers, I've helped out thousands of people like you master expressions and build amazing business apps. Intimidating writing expressions can be, but it doesn't have to be like that. In my 6 years of training AppSheet developers, I've helped out thousands of people like you master expressions and build amazing business apps. In this video, I dissect the anatomy of expressions, helping you to understand how and why they work, so that expressions like this can be a fun puzzle. If you have experience writing formulas in Sheets or Excel, this is really going to translate. But trust me, for the rest of you, I was once in your position. We'll be breaking this down to make it really easy. What is an expression? Well, an expression is a formula-like statement used to return values or define a behavior in your app. Before we jump too deep into expressions, we need to talk about data types. An app sheet, a data type refers to the kind of data that a column in a table can store. Let's check them out. Within the app sheet editor on the data tab, you can find the data type for every single column. As we can see, the driver name is a name, key is a text, and so on. You have over 30 options to choose between. Not only do columns have data types, each expression you write will have a return value that must be a specific data type based on where you're applying that expression. Within the expression assistant, right here, you can see the expected data type. That means that anything inside this input requires to have a return type that matches email. To test this out, let's go ahead and put an invalid value. Let's say 12. Since 12 has a result type of number, it is not one of the expected data types of email. Let's try putting in an email. This function, user email, returns the email of the person currently using the app, which is a data type of email, so it is being passed in as a valid value. All right, let's dive in. What makes up an expression? You'll find expressions are made up of 4 components. They're constants, columns, operators, and functions. Constants are a static value that you manually type into the expression assistant. For today's examples, we will be using this field delivery table app. If you would like to follow along, click the link inside the description, press manage, collaborate and publish, and then copy the app for yourself. Let's go ahead and go into the status. Within status, if we scroll to the right into the initial value, we'll go ahead and put in pending. This ensures that anytime a new job gets created, its initial value will be pending. Columns. These allow you to retrieve a value from a specified column in your app's data. They look like this. You'll see the name of the column wrapped in square brackets. Columns return dynamic values. What this means is that based on where that num column is running, it returns different values. For example, LeBron James' record, if you were to run that num column expression, it would return 23. However, someone like Kobe Bryant on his record, it would return 24. To see this in action, let's look at Kevin Durant's. Kevin Durant's number is 35, and so on his record, that num expression would return the number 35. The next important feature is the references. Think of the references as a portal into a ref column. What this means is that in this example, we have NBA basketball players. At the end of the table, we have a reference to their team. The team table looks like this. Using dot notation for the references, you can use a team ID or a reference column in square brackets followed by a period, and then a column that belongs to that reference table. Let's look at an example of this. For Kevin Durant, his team is Suns with the ID, Suns ID. If we go to the team table and find the record where the key is Suns ID, we can go to that record and retrieve the colors from it, which in this example is orange and purple. This expression would return the same colors for teammates. Let's say Kobe Bryant and LeBron James both play for the Lakers, so they both return purple and gold. If you want to hear more about this feature, we have plenty of videos on this topic down below in the description. For the column example, let's go ahead and create a new virtual column. For this virtual column, we want to label this one driver's phone. Since we just created this virtual column, it has no specified data type, and so no data type is expected. However, we called it driver's phone number, and so what we want to do is we want to return the driver of this job, their phone number. So let's go ahead and make an expression that does that. So if we were to start off just by putting in driver, let's see what that would return. For the driver, it simply returns the ID of that driver's record. No other information yet. But we can use the idea of AD reference to retrieve a column from the driver table. Let's go ahead and try it out. First, we want to do the period, and then square brackets. If we want to return the driver's name, we can do something like this, and it would return the name of the driver who's assigned to this job. That's all we want. We want their phone number, so let's go ahead and add that. This is a common use case of AD reference. Whenever you want a child record to retrieve a characteristic from a parent record, you'll do something like this. Next, we have operators. These are broken down into 2 different families. We have arithmetic operators and logical operators. First, we have arithmetic operators. These allow you to apply math to an expression. Think plus, minus, multiply, divide. Let's say, for example, you want to find the net total. You can multiply the quantity by the price. Or let's say you want to find the average hours worked per day. You can take the total hours of the year and divide it by the number of days in a year. Next, we have logical operators. These allow you to compare 2 values. Remember, these always return true or false. Think like this. True or false, the quantity is greater than in stock.
So, kind of how I like to approach this is realizing, okay, I've got my tools now. What can those tools do? And on top of what I'm showing here, there's also make. So if I go to make, actually, I think I've already got a workspace pulled up. I've got app sheet here. So that's interesting. I'm going to just have to figure out where it starts, where it ends, how it connects, why it connects, what it does with the Google Sheet, where it goes to Looker Studio, some kind of way to make this extremely useful as a data analyst and in a business context. Um, Obviously, I can make a tool for data analysts to use within their consultancy or within their job duties. Um, and that's partially what I want to do here. I think mostly who I'm going to be speaking to at Measure Summit are going to be Measure professionals. So I want to make sure that I actually provide a tool that's geared towards making their lives easier, um, rather than, how I typically would build something like this, is I would want to try to build something that I could then use as a lead magnet or use to pique a business owner's interest and then sell them on the implementation, because it's technical and they don't want to deal with technical things. So I'm going to be my work is cut out for me because I'm going to be building for people who have already have it figured out. They already know quite a bit about um, data and analytics and how this might work. And so I'm gonna, it's a bigger task. You're building something useful for intelligent people, as far as domain expertise goes. So I don't know what I just did, but hopefully, make sure you guys.
Let's say quantity of how many days sold is 12, and in stock is 10. This would return true. However, if quantity was
Trying to
5,
figure out what's
it would
wrong
not be
with
greater than,
that.
so this expression would return false.
Whatever.
Next, we have weekly hours is greater than 40. This is a column being compared to a static value. Last, we have status does not equal completed. This would return true if the project is not completed, but would return false if the status is completed. This can be used to say yes or no, is the project active. For our arithmetic operators, we want to go ahead and create a new virtual column. This virtual column, we want to label it completion duration. A fun thing about arithmetic operators is that they don't only apply to numbers or decimals. You can also apply them to dates, times, date times, durations, and lists. Okay, so we want to start off by entering in the drop off date time, and then subtracting the smaller value, which is the pickup date time. This expression right here returns the duration of the elapsed time between the pickup date time and the drop off date time. And our example of a logical operator starts off with us creating a virtual column and calling it in progress. We want to return a value of true if it's in progress and a value of false if it is not in progress. The way we determine if a job is in progress is if the status equals started. Equals is a logical operator. Let's go ahead and use it. First, we want to do status is equal to the constant text of started. This will return true for every single job that its status is started. Let's go ahead and check this out. Right here, we can see that all these are false printed on the screen because we see canceled, pending, canceled, finished. Let's scroll down until we see one that is started. Right here, this one is started and it is returning true. Perfect. And last, we have functions. A function is like a pre-built command that helps the app return a value in a way that both you and the app can understand. When I say that we use functions to communicate in a way that both the app and us understand, it's like us speaking a language that we both share. But to speak that language, we have to follow a specific syntax. What is syntax? Well, syntax is the precise format and rules for constructing a function. Think of it like this. Function syntax will always look like this. A function name followed by open and closed parentheses. In this example, you see within those parentheses, there are things called parameters. Parameters are inputs you plug into a function to control its return value. These parameters have a limiter of a comma. That means that a comma separates each of the individual parameters. This is true for all functions. Function syntax is almost like learning a second language. What I mean by this is an English speaker begins to learn Spanish would translate each word from Spanish into English so that he can properly understand what he's saying or hearing. An example of this using AppSheet's function syntax is this. In this select function, we're going to return a list of all user emails where their role is manager, and we don't want to remove the duplicate emails. Another example is in this select function, we're going to return a list of projects, clients, where their status is not completed, but we do want to remove the duplicate clients. So this would look like a list of all the clients who have active projects. Any client who has multiple projects that are active.
What could be really interesting with all this is basically creating, yeah, what could be interesting here is creating a BTS. So the first video you're probably going to see on my channel related to this is going to be when I'm like uh not previewing, but like what do they call it? Man, today is a rough one. Um, Premiering a new tool. So I'll actually have the tool done. Then this will come out afterwards as a BTS. So what I've been learning about content and trying to express what I'm doing and try to capture it is I kind of treat this like musicians and artists that do rollouts. My favorite artists, they always have a BTS after the fact, or you have to give people something that they'll care about, and then the making of will be geared towards the people who are the fans of the finished project. So it's I don't know why I just explained that, but yep.
Projects that are active would still only show up once. Being expected to know all this information can be a little daunting when you're constantly running into new functions you've never seen before. So we built this free dashboard to make all that searching easy. As you can see, for every function in AppSheet, we have the data type the function returns, as well as the parameter inputs required to build the function. We've also included all that information in a practical example in a short recorded video breakdown. For the in-progress example, we talked about how we can return yes, no if a column is equal to another value. What if we wanted to see if that column is equal to this value or another value? Let's look at two ways we can do this. Let's go ahead and create a virtual column called closed one. We want this to return true if it is a status that means the job is closed, and false if it is a status that does not mean it's closed. This means that we want it to return true if the status is equal to finished or if the status is equal to canceled. Let's see how it looks. We'll be using the or function. The first parameter is expecting a yes no condition. For this yes no condition, we're going to do status equals finished. The second parameter is also a yes no. This one we're going to do status equals canceled. To convert this function into English syntax like we talked about, we want to replace the commas with the word or. This looks like this function will return true if the status equals function, the comma, or status equals canceled. Let's go ahead and create a virtual column for our second option. This one we'll call closed 2. In closed 2, we want to use the in expression. In the in expression, to convert it to English, the first parameter is a text you want to search for. The second parameter is a list that you want to search through for that first text. Think of it like this. The needle is inside of the list haystack. All right, so the needle is in the haystack. If this needle is inside this list, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. So the needle that we're looking for is not needle, but we're looking for the status. So if the value of the status is found in this list, and the list is going to be finished, is the first element of the list, and the second element of the list is canceled. So what this says is if the status of the job is in the list of finished or canceled, this will return true. Otherwise, it will return false for pending or started. Let's go ahead and see this tested out. So on this test page, this one is canceled, and we can see that it's true. This one is not finished or canceled, it's pending, so it's false. For the final example, we're going to create a driver level. This is going to use all four of the expression components in one expression. Let's check this out. A driver level is going to be an attribute of a driver, so we want it to belong on the driver table. First, we need to determine which jobs have been assigned to which drivers. Luckily, whenever you do a reference to another table, let's say this driver column is a reference to the driver table, what this does inside the driver table creates a related jobs on the other end. This is going to be a list of all the jobs that are related to that driver. As we can see, each of these drivers have a list of jobs for each of them. We want to take this column and wrap it in a count function. The count function takes a
So now I'm starting to realize. So there's like this progress. Um, on yeah, I can see that. There we go. Let me ask a better question. I'm at a stage in the journey where I'm learning to ask the questions. Uh, Actually, you know what? I want to ask Claude, is app sheet a replacement for Airtable? It's a lot, man, because you got to figure out what tools you want to use and build with, and then you got to figure out which tools can substitute for others. How much all this is going to cost. Tech stack is crazy. I've spent a lot of money, a bins on software. Just my annual software spend is crazy. Those first 2 years, excuse me. Damn, those first 2 years were crazy as far as that goes. Excuse me. Here we go. Okay. 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 Hmm. If I'm using Google Sheets and Google Apps script along with App Sheet, should I have the same functionality covered? That's a question. I missed it, but okay. Search a database, similar. You can structure data on tables, use formulas, and manage large data sets. Application building, powerful automation capabilities. That's where app scripts really comes in, is in the automation part. Um, Custom functions, um, custom functions for app script, of course. External APIs. Okay. I guess I haven't really thought about using Google Forms for anything. Excuse me. All right. So, as I suspected, I can get what I need from that. Let me make this a little bit bigger and smaller here. Put it over here. think this is about the size of the screen people would actually want. I'll have to play around with the size of the screen and kind of listen to what people are saying. I wish there was like a pause button on this thing. Might have to get an editor. Okay, so there's that. Pretty interesting. Doesn't answer every question, but close enough.
Takes a list of items.
Let's jump over to this and try to see. Okay, I got data, um, my library, my boot camps. Where's my app sheet certificate here? App sheet essentials. This is all I got to do in order to get this. Free with our subscription. Let me subscribe. What do I need to do to subscribe here? How much is this shit? Are they just gonna send me to YouTube here? This is 2023. That's not even relevant right now. What's going on here? Contact sales. What is tech talk? What does that mean? That's pretty dope and very smart, actually. I think when it's gonna let me check real quick and see if I got anything. Wow, that's impressive actually. And YouTube. I like this a lot actually. Training. Um, GTM API for container updates. GA4 for automatic reporting. Looker for automatic dashboarding. It's just me for now. Okay, so they're gonna call me at 11. That's awesome. That's one of the first times I've ever seen that, where it's like a tiered system. You see stuff like this, but um, instead of having you pay, they just make you book a call, which is actually genius. I want to recreate this for my website. Anyway, so I don't want to get too bogged down here. They got a whole bunch of free stuff here, so could just watch it. It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. I don't know why there's a lag here. It's really frustrating.
Silver. And then last, if they what is equal to 0 jobs, then they are going to be bronze. Since this is the end of our expression, let's go ahead and remove that last comma. So we convert this function into English syntax. Let's say like this. If this driver has more than 20 jobs, return the value platinum for their level. If they don't, but they have a count of greater than 5, then gold. But if it's not greater than 5, but they do have a count greater than 1, then return silver. But if it's not greater than 1, but it's equal to 0, then let's return bronze. Let's go ahead and test this. We remember that the top 3 right here all had 7, 7, 7, and 6, and then 6 again. Let's go ahead and scroll down to these people who are silver. These people have very few drives. Last, we're going to go ahead and add myself as a user to see if I end up being bronze. Let's hit save. Now, if I go to the driver view and add myself, let's go ahead and say Cameron, noob, and put in the fake phone number, hit save. Scroll down here, camera noob is a bronze striper.
Right now, I'm dealing with a situation where the agency owner that's contracted me, they want um, basically a leaderboard, interactive dashboard situation, where the manager can look and see one thing, and then the service provider can look and see something else, right? So you got two tiers. You got the manager and the employee, and they should be seeing different things, and none of them should have anything to do with revenue. They should be able to see just workload and whether or not it was done to a satisfactory level. So
Striper because I have zero jobs.
right around
If you enjoyed this video and like to see more
that
content like this, please subscribe and like this video.
could
Also, if you have any remaining questions, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. We'll make sure to get to you. We appreciate you joining us for this video and hope to see you again. Bye.
make an app using Google Sheets data.
How's it going, everybody? My name is Benjamin Anderson, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to create an app using data from Google Sheets. As you see here, I have two sheets in this worksheet, and I've gone ahead and put in a column structure as well as some data. For this demo, you won't need to have data in your columns, but you will have to have column headers. Now, first, what I'd like to talk about is the program we'll be using to actually develop the apps. This program is called AppSheet, and it is a no-code platform that helps you develop apps using your data much quicker than traditional development. Now, it's a no-code platform, so that means you don't have to have any programming experience to use this platform. And if you have any experience in Excel or Google Sheets, you've actually already got a head start on some of the expressions you'll find in the app as well. That being said, you don't need experience in either of those to understand the platform either. To start off, you're going to want to hit this button here to start for free. Once you've done that, since we're going to be using Google Sheets, you're going to want to press this here and sign up using Google. Now, once you've gone through the sign up process and allowed AppSheet to have access to your app, you will see a page kind of like this, but with fewer apps. Once you're here, you're going to want to hit New Mobile App, and you're going to want to start with your own data. Once you do this, you'll need to put in a name. I'm going to put in AppSheet Demo App. And for my category, I'm going to go ahead and choose Other, but yours might very well fit into one of these categories. Hit Other, and next I'm going to hit Choose Your Data. Now, if you've just signed up, you won't see this screen. What you will instead see is this screen here. This is your Google Drive file structure. So you'll go into files as you normally would, the same way you would in Google Drive to find the file you're looking for. I put mine at the top here intentionally to make it easy to find. So I'm going to hit that and press Select. Once you do this, AppSheet will start setting up your app, and immediately you will see, once the editor is loaded, the emulator on the right to show you what your app is going to look like. And you can see we've already got a working app. This isn't all of the data we were looking at, and it can definitely use some fine-tuning, but you can already download this once it's deployed and start using it on your phone. So already you're seeing results. Now, really quickly, you'll notice if I go to the tables under data, we'll see a suggestion here to add the other sheet that is in my worksheet job. So I'm going to click that, and immediately it'll start saving. And once it's done saving that and loading the emulator again, we'll see on the bottom we've got both the employees view as well as the jobs view. See right here, we now have a view for both of these. Now, like I said, this is going to take some fine-tuning, but with our help, the YouTube channel, and the AppSheet documentation, it's not hard to create an app from Google Sheet using AppSheet. We're excited that you've come to our channel, and we're excited for you to watch more of our videos. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section below. Thank you so much.
At Crew Technologies, we love helping people get great value out of AppSheet. We do that through offering professional services and helpful content like this. To stay up to date, like and subscribe, and we're always trying.
Really want that though.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Benjamin Anderson, and in today's video, we're going to be kicking off a series on expressions. In this video, we're going to be talking very generally about what expressions are and where do you put them. So first, let's start with what they are. Now, we're going to be breaking down the different pieces of an expression in a different video, but in general terms, expressions are tools used to put in dynamic data. Now, the term dynamic is as opposed to static, which just means it can change. It can be different in different situations. For instance, we have this expression called unique ID. This is a very common expression that's used to put a different value on every row to make sure that we have a special key in each row. We don't want to put the same value because then AppSheet wouldn't be able to recognize them as different rows. Another example of this is when we look at time, the now expression. This expression returns the date and time when the user saves the saves the form, or could be different depending on where you put it, but it returns the value of today. Now that value can change, right? We don't want to put in the date of today, recording this video 7/20/2019. We don't want that to be put in every time because we want it to reflect when the app was actually used. And so that's where
So my wheels are turning, and I'm starting to realize um, I could easily fall into shiny object territory with this. because I don't need a
That's
mobile
where we
app.
use
That's something
expressions.
I'm looking to build
Excuse me, that's
right
why we use
now.
expressions. Now, where can we put expressions in?
I
You can
just
put
want to
expressions in
clean up
all over
my.
the app. And in this video, I'm not going to go over every single place, but I'll go over some common ones. And two specific things you can look out for that will help you know if you can put an expression in. One is this equal
Want a
sign.
cleaner way
This equal sign
to
helps you know that you can put an expression in here.
build a
When you click
dashboard.
on the space next to the equal sign, it brings up the expression assistant, which we will also break down in another video. Another thing you can look out for is the flask. The flask is a great handy tool that helps you know, hey, you can put an expression here. So there's plenty of places you can put them in the columns section of data, as well as in slices. You see we've got conditions in here for what we want the slice to be. In addition to this, you can put them in different places in the behaviors tab. This is going to be one of the biggest places you use expressions. Actions, workflows, reports all rely heavily on expressions based on when you want something to happen, what you want it to do, and so much more. So that's all for this video, the very basics of what expressions are and where to find them. In the next video, we'll talk about breaking down an expression to help you understand what goes into it.
I think it's called a robot. Let's find out about that. Yeah, this guy right here. This is the one. Damn, this is out. Come on.
Training rather. And today our topic is automations and bots. So if you are new to the channel, we are bringing you these free daily live streams where we're talking about everything from no code to automations, business workflows, and then answering your questions live on the call. And how's it going, Abdullah? I think hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that too bad, but I may be. Sorry about that. Good to have you on the live stream today. So yeah, these sessions are geared for you guys. We want to know how we can best help you and get the most out of the no code tools that y'all are using. And so we specialize in AppSheet, so that's what we primarily focus on. But you'll see in tomorrow's session, we're going to be taking a look at how to expand outside of AppSheet. We got some integrations there. What's up, Josh? Awesome. So today we're going to be talking about automations and bots, and we're going to really dive into like some different ways we can take our expense tracker app and schedule notifications or reminders. Let me see what the list is here to get you guys geared up for it. So automatic notifications, scheduled updates, and then if you stick around till the end, we have a monthly expense summary that will start mapping out. We might not finish that one today, so you might have to hop back on tomorrow to get the rest of that one. As building a report takes a little bit of trial and error and kind of like testing and seeing if the report is structured the correct way. And so again, we do all these live, and so I'm building this stuff as I'm going, just to show you guys how easy it is to just within an hour make kind of iterative updates with AppSheet. We built the first like initial version of this app in 30 minutes or less. And so once we got the initial build there, then we can just kind of take it and kind of build off of that. And so that's kind of the mindset for using AppSheet. It's like, how do I take my business workflows that I'm already using a bunch of different spreadsheets that don't have any automation and turn them into AppSheet apps? And then you start to once you get into that habit and that practice, and you can start thinking of your business workflows as AppSheet apps. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at today is our automations and bots. And like I said, make sure you guys stick around to the end so we can do that monthly expense summary together, because that'll be a fun one as we'll be looking at templates. So it's like document generation. Okay, well I think we're ready to go. And like I said, if you have questions, enter those in the chat. I'll be sure to answer them on the call. They can be related to automations and bots or any workflow that you're working on. And so with that out of the way, let's get into today's. All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending today. Again, I'm Austin from AppSheet Training and Crew Technologies. This is a live Q&A session, and so if you have questions, please be sure to enter those in the chat. How's it going? Learn by minute. Nice to see you there. So yeah, if you have questions about automations or what we're working on, if you want to look at the database, if you want to look at how we set up the data or the UX features, like anything is fair game. So however y'all want to whatever questions y'all may have, I'm happy to answer those and help you guys the best way I can. All right, so let's go ahead and do a quick review of kind of our frameworks and everything. So we use a system development framework, which, like we say every session, we're going to discover those the different workflows that we have for our business. That's the first stage. And then once we have those in mind, we're going to organize those, and we're going to go app by app or workflow by workflow, and organize those into functional apps. And as you can see, if you have the training and you have the skill set to develop these workflows, then it's really easy to move those into AppSheet apps. Less than 30 minutes to get the first build out. After that, you're going to design it and customize it inside the AppSheet editor, and then you can deploy it and then iterate based on your coworkers' feedback. So starting that feedback loop, right? And then you can start iterating those different changes to your AppSheet apps, and then you just do that same thing and repeat it. So then you move on to the next workflow and keep going, so on and so forth, until you've got like this engine of apps that's like helping optimize your team's workflows. All right, so today's steps. What we need to do first is we're going to identify some automation needs. So we're going to take a look at the expense tracker app, and we're going to make sure we're just going to do like an overview of, okay, here's how the app's structured, and then here's what we need to automate in order to have effective communication between all of our team members that have access to the app. So we have managers and team members that are going and purchasing stuff and then adding it to the app. And then from there, we're going to configure the automation. We're going to do free today, and like I said, stick around to the end, and we might have some. We'll do that.
That first step, man, I think that's not just a app sheet question for the future. I think this gets me into a new driver's seat. So one of the things that I've always enjoyed about the world that I'm in is, you show up first day at work, and a lot of times people give you the keys to the castle. Whatever you need, you have, and there's not red tape. Your job is to just get in and make a change, make a difference, make things better. So there's two ways to do that. I can just implement masterfully, and that takes time, effort, uh, experience, a lot of different things, right? But strategy doesn't require those things. Strategy requires thinking correctly about problems. So being able to solve the puzzle mentally by just looking at it. And that's what step one really is. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be looking to identify automation needs, regardless of if it's with OpenAI or a Anthropic or AppSheet or some other tool, Google Sheet, Airtable, whatever, Make. Zapier, all these different tools and how they play around with each other and how they connect to each other also. So just imagine a situation where maybe there's a company that brings someone like me on, and then I realize that their no code stack is just disgusting, or I find out that they've got a whole bunch of software that nobody's using, and they're spending a lot of money on that. I could save them a lot of money by not only, suggesting that they get rid of certain things, but also um, building out process through my understanding of no code and how it could work and what could be, just through knowing the tools and through doing projects where similar things were solved. So I'm looking for opportunities to solve big issues within organizations that have to do with workflows and have to do with operations. Because then I'm way more valuable than just the data guy who's in the organization to do these things. So I'm excited for that.
Monthly expense summary. So showing you guys template expressions and document generation there. And then we're going to design the workflow or bot logic once we figure out the automation, and then we're going to save and test each of those. All right. So now that we have our steps, let's go ahead and see the app that we're working with. Again, this is our expense tracker app. And so it's got the main table is our project table, which you can see over here. And then we have this this SVG tracker right here that just shows like the percentage wheel of what we've spent. We do need to do like some recalculation for that to show like a true metric. Right now it's just defaulting to 100%. If we click on a project, we can see the related expenses. And so that is our expense table. So if we view these expenses, it's just going to show us a list of the related expenses for the project A. Okay. And so that brings us to our expense table. So if we come up there to our expense table, we have these different columns to take on that information there. And then next we have our categories. And so these are just like reference tables that we have associated with the app, right? We have a mileage log, which we're not really using in this series. And then we have a payment method, a receipt log, which we're going to use as one of our automations. So I'll show you all what we're going to do with that one. And then we of course have a user table and then a vendor table to associate it with the company that we're purchasing from. All right. Okay. So now that we've got lay the land here, let's go ahead and head straight to the automations tab. Okay. So app sheet, if you want to like create an automation, you go to this little robot here and you'll select him, and then you can click here or up here to create your first bot. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create my first bot. It's gonna ask me a few prompts like, do I want to do one of these? I just want to create it from scratch, so I'll just click that button there. It's always important to name these, and so what I like to do is just have the bot there, and the first bot that I'm gonna create is going to be called an expense notification. So I'm gonna go ahead and load that one in. And so I'd say this is like one of the more basic versions of a bot that you can create. We're gonna try to create 3 today, if time permits. And so we have our new event. Again, we want to name these, and so I'm gonna come over here to the event name, and this event is going to notify when an expense is added. All right. And so got that one structured. And so this is where we can start configuring our actual automation. And so the event type, what type of change triggers this event? It's not going to be a schedule, and it's not going to be a chat. That's another thing that we could do. It's pretty fun. Is the chat apps. So y'all let me know if y'all want to see a demo of that as well. And then we have our data change. It doesn't need to be all changes because we just want to notify people when something's like an expense has been added. So for this one, we can do a simple adds only. And so then it won't generate a notification if we select any of these, right? So if like there's an update made, then nobody's going to be notified. We're good. Then the next thing that you need to select is what table this event is running off of. So right now it's targeting the project table. We need it to target the expense table. The condition, we don't need to set a condition right now because we're just notifying our admin every time there's a data change. All right, so that covers that one. And these are just some optional ones where you can select the display and then add some documentation if that's necessary. Okay, so now we need to set up the process. For this one, we are going to name this step the notification. All right. Okay, so this is where we tell we tell Apshi, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to send a notification, send an email, send an SMS?
I don't know, man. So if anybody out there is watching this and realizing what I'm realizing, this is like workflows are such a big thing with high level, right? The CRM. And they're cute and everything, and people love them, but being able to do this within your Google Sheets and then connecting that back to Looker Studio for dashboarding, quick KPI looks, and creating and deploying a mobile app that allows people to like click a button and see a report or pull different metrics based on having a workflow here, because there's like this thing called a robot. They're going to talk about the bots in a little bit here. But the key here is that bot will allow me to create an automation, no different than what you do with GA4, wherever you can get a report at a certain time of day, any day that you choose, really, and it just automatically emails it to the right people. This is that same thing on steroids, and I can also call scripts, so you can see right here in the
Call
corner
a
where
webhook.
it says
Any one of these
call
prompts is
script.
fair game.
I can send a text message. I can or a chat message. I can send an SMS, text message. I can call a webhook, so I can start an automation or just send a webhook, whatever. Um, Yeah, this shit is insane. Create a new file. I can send a notification. I think that this,
So we
once
can
I
select send
realize
notification.
what I want to do with this, it's going to be a hell of a tool, and I'll come up with something. I just gotta like accept that I have to go through this discovery period, and that kind of sucks for me because I'm not a person that likes that, but I just want to get to it. I want to get to the end. But you know, that's why I'm recording this also is
And then send
I want
notifications to people
people
with
to
these
see
email
my
addresses. So we're going from the
machine
expense table,
here.
and I'm just going to send it directly to me. You can also do a formula,
It's very necessary.
so that it would tech,
It's
so that
very
would like dynamically select users to send these to. But for this demonstration, we just need to send it to myself. And so anytime an expense is added, I'm notifying myself that there was an expense added. And so one thing that you could do to make this more dynamic is add a column to the project table, and then that would be like project lead, right? And so if your project gets a expense added to it, if you're like admin of that project, then we could do a dereference to the project lead, and so that would create that dynamic play there. So you let me know if you want me to demo that out a little bit more, because that's a little bit abstract, but I think you're following me if you've been with AppSheet for a while. Okay, and we're just going to use the default content for this one. That looks good there. And let's see here, only visible within this process. Okay, whoops, cleared that one. So get my email added here real quick. All right, and then if we did want to use different content, we could change it up here. I like to add emojis to this stuff. I just think it's helpful for like when you receive emails and stuff. So new expense added, and it'll render on emails and everything like that. And then here's where you put the template expression. So with template expressions, you're going to do the carets. And so we have those there, and then we can insert the dynamic data that we need. And this is really where the AppSheet toolbox comes in handy. So we can look at the schema, and so we can see what do we want to put there. And so
Bro, I'm thinking of use cases. I could use this as an affiliate and make sure that I trigger certain things to go out if people open up an email or they click on a link or if they land on a certain page, and then I can automate what comes next. Uh, the offer will be based on where they clicked or what they didn't click, what page they landed on or didn't land on. I can connect it to a webhook and then send it to Make. Make has not only AppSheet but also GA4. So I don't know what's going on with this thing. That's really annoying. And saying that I'm logged out. There's definitely a Google Analytics joint, but it don't want to act right. So let me refresh it so I can get. I don't know. I feel like mostly um, this industry is a test of patience because you got to obviously continue to learn, but then you have to be good at learning um, because it's really a challenge. That part is a huge challenge. So I can do a couple of different things with AppSheet. I can make an API call. Um, I don't know why I would do that, but I could edit a record, create a record, get a record, search records, custom action. What is this? What does that even mean? It's insane, bro. I gotta just figure it out. Then I have to have an API key, ID, a table name, location, all this stuff. It's pretty extreme, pretty robust. Analytics, so Google Analytics 4. So based on that, I could create an event, make an API call, generate a report, custom pivot report. I don't know. I don't even know how I would do that, but I've already got this connected. Last 7 days, I could do a certain dimension, set up the cohort. I don't even know how that works or what that really means in this context, but I can figure it out eventually here just by playing with it. Um, I feel like I should know what that is, but maybe I'm not thinking through it because of the format it's in right now. Um, keep empty rows, currency code, dollar. Could have just put in USD. Okay, good enough. They want me to do some stuff with dimensions. Let's see what we got. Audience ID. That's crazy, bro. Insanity. User ID GHL. That's one of the new ones I created. Dimension expression. Lowercase is fine. I don't think I need much anything else. Dimension filter. Not really sure what's going on there. I'm not really sure what they mean by dimension expression is specified. A custom name for it can be created in map mode. But then there's a specified custom name. Switch to map mode. All right, I just need to get past this. I'm not really trying to go too crazy here. 7-day active users. Cool, that's fine. Expression is fine. First metric, second metric. Okay, whatever, y'all. Visible, no. Filter, no. Yeah, choose is fine. Filter metric, that's fine. I don't really know what else they want from me there. I'll figure that out later. But basically, what I want to show you, because it's all about what I want, is let's see what all I got access to for this. New response, send back a response from Make to Looker Studio. Oof. What would I do with data source here? Schema. Interesting. I just have to create the schema there. And then I could do like total number of bundles, audience name. Gosh, there's so much. Robust is the name, is the word that I was looking for. There's so much here. And then, so App Sheet, Looker Studio, I could go Google Sheet. We could go, I wonder, GTM. Let's see what we got for Google. Google Drive. Forms could be interesting. I don't know a whole lot about groups. I'll have to play around with that a little bit. Ads report. And then we got cloud stuff going on. So if I can get into the right area with cloud, that could be really interesting. Um, a lot of this is newer, man. I'm a GA, GTM guy. Um, but I could list users, update users, list them, update, create, delete privileges, make an API call. I don't even know what I would use an API call for Google Workspace admin, unless I had to give somebody like extra access or something. But it's pretty interesting here. And I can trigger it all from AppSheet um, in the GA4 into here. But what is, let me see something real quick. Do I have a tag manager? I just have to figure out the Google API. Is there a script? Nah, there's sheets though. And if I jump in the sheets, right? If I'm a freak in the sheets, perform a function. Oh shit, this is crazy. Uh, uh, uh. Okay, let's see this real quick. It says responder. I can respond with text, and that text could be audience name. Let's do that because that's kind of easy. And then that output can, do something else. So let's say that output creates an event from gtag, and then I have to have my measurement ID and my measurement protocol. That's what they're asking for, API, which I've used that in high level. That's not too hard. Yeah, I can set that up. Client ID, I'd have to kind of think about that. And then event name could be all these things. So that could be kind of interesting. Generate a pivot. report, and then the event name could be based on that. Just experimenting. Just want to show you guys how I'm thinking about this. The link URL could be the event name. Yeah, that's pretty insane because I know how to manipulate the event before it gets to the pivot table so that it dynamically um, is added. I did that with, interesting. I did that with one of the clients I had. Yeah, they're not gonna let me. Okay, let's see what advanced secrets we got. Ooh, that's cool. User properties, that's cool. So I could add in stuff that I pull here. So it could be on that level. And then obviously there's a CRM element here where we could push it all back to lead connector, which I've already got set up. And I could, let's just say update the contact from there. And then I got GED's conversion enhancement. They got some stuff going on here. So this is create an ID, contact ID. My contact ID wouldn't come from any of these GA4 joints though. It would have to come from this other thing. And then we've got hella. Dude, that's insane. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Search contacts. That's what I would want to do. So I probably want to do this first, actually. So I could unlink here and push more towards here. Yeah, let's go here. Let's make this kind of simple. So this will be contacts. I'll just make it like that. And now we have yeah, depending on if it wants to act right or not, I'd imagine I could do this and let's say app sheet necessary. Necessary. That's my new term. Yeah, whatever. And then we go here. And then we go here. And then we say, all right, my app. All right, yeah, I did it. Contact ID gonna be right there. So I'll just push this here. They're gonna be asking for it. So I can drop it there. Contact ID, boom. The first name, boom. Easy. Easy peasy. Map the whole thing, right? Um, why not? You know, I don't think I'll have date of birth, but we'll put it in there just in case. Company name, I think I already did. Oops, not that. Where's company name? There. And it'll just be up. That's pretty cool. So just imagine the utility of something like this. I could go, I don't know what perform a function responder text number. Audience name is, yeah. And then this is a response as well. I don't know what a Looker Studio response is though, but yeah, that could be kind of cool. Let's add another module so I can play around with Looker Studio a little bit more. Search assets, list asset permissions. members revoke. So that's just if I want to do stuff with permissions. Yeah, I don't really see. Send data back from Make to Looker Studio. What does that really mean? Let's find out. Let's see. Okay, this thing doesn't want to act right. And my battery's about to die. All right, I'm gonna call it. That's a whole hour of this. Um, I'm gonna try to keep going. It's gonna cut off pretty soon here, but let's see if we can get further before we have to. We're forced to create a part two. Um, there it goes. Okay, so this is the make documentation where I'm going to try to understand what it means to send a response. Um, make data source to Looker Studio. I don't know what that means. Um, I genuinely don't understand what this means. Let's see. To connect your scenarios to Data Studio. I don't really know what that means. What does it do though? It seems kind of cool. Let's open it real quick and just kind of see what happens when we push this through. Then I need a webhook. Okay, let me save this and create a webhook. I think I can create one over here somewhere. Webhooks. It's really insane, bro. How do I create a webhook? That's a key. Create a webhook, baby. Oh, I know what to do. Hopefully I can get to it before this cuts off. Let's just add a module here. Let's go webhook. Yep. Add. Let's go make. And then save. And then that's my webhook. Copy. And jump over and add it to Looker, which is here. So that's my guy. And then I'm connected. Okay. Let's see. Successfully determined is what it says. Let's try one more. And I think that's going to want to, I think it'll connect this time. Well, maybe not. And then we'll load schema, get more information about make. There's a, so there's that. here we are. I was muted. All right, bye. Peace.